All right. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us. Oh boy, I hope you guys all had a really amazing holiday. Um, and that you got to rest and spend lots of time with your families and, just having that quality time that we all need. And that can kind of become less of a priority when we're really busy. So I definitely did. Um, I'm praying that my kids go back to school tomorrow. Hey, Sid. It's possible we might get a snow day tomorrow in Cincinnati. And I'm just like, oh, please go back to school. I love you, but I need to get some work done. Okay. Well, let's see. So we had such a fun weekend this past weekend, hosting the Pajama Regional. And so that is what we're going to really focus on tonight. Some of the takeaways that our team has had from watching that. And you guys, if you did not get to watch that event, oh my gosh, I have so much FOMO for you because it was amazing. Be sure that you're watching the pin post in Team Sim for announcements like that. The Pajama Regional was announced a while ago. And they always have it in January, and then they have another one in August. Okay, so they haven't announced the date in August yet, but just be thinking that if you don't live local, if you're like the leader in your area, be watching that Pajama Regional announcement because it's such a great opportunity to get your team together. It's super low key. We just hang out in our PJs and eat really yummy food and hang out together and just get filled up with really amazing trainings by top trainers around the world. So that's certainly what we did this past weekend. So it was awesome. So before we start with some of the takeaways that we have from the Pajama Regional, I want to just do a couple of announcements. Okay, first one, this is important. There will be no team call next Sunday night because it's a holiday weekend. So if you guys don't know that, your kids probably don't have school on Monday. It's my team day weekend. So that's a 3-day holiday weekend. And anytime we have a 3-day holiday weekend, we're not going to be having a team call on Sunday night because I know you guys you go out of town for the weekend or, just really want to spend time with your family. So we want to respect that family time. So no call next week. Then I also wanted to update you guys that we have everybody. There we go. I want to let you guys know that the cherry bombs, we've revamped just a teensy tiny little bit for those cherry bomb calls. So if you're a qualifier, if you are a qualifier, you are welcome to join those calls. And you know what? If you're not a qualifier and you want to join those calls, I'm okay with that too. Okay. There's some great information that we share on these calls. If you're not a qualifier and you join the calls and you hear us talking about pods, you're not in a pod, so just don't worry about it. But you can still take advantage of any of that information. So I'm going to put the new flyer in the Team Win Facebook page. But what we're doing is we're just consolidating because what we were doing is we had 2 separate groups and we were doing the same call back to back on Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. And it just made more sense because we weren't getting anywhere close to filling up all of our lines on those to just consolidate and do one of those just to make sure that we're really using our time as best possible. And then also sometimes we get really great questions or discussions going in one of the groups, and then the other group has missed out on that. So we just want to make sure that you guys have the most impactful calls possible. So those cherry bomb calls are going to now be at 2 p.m. from 2 to 2:30 Eastern time on Tuesday afternoon, and then from 8 to 8:30 on Wednesday evening. Okay, and those are going to be the only ones. So I have a new flyer. I'm going to post that for you guys. What else? Oh, we're not having a Facebook party tomorrow. I didn't remember to set it up until yesterday or till Friday night. And then I thought, gosh, if I can set it up and we can have it tomorrow, but chances of anybody really inviting to it is pretty low. So I figured that I would save our energy and not do that. And also, I really want you guys to be, isn't that crazy? I'm like so hot right now, and it's like so cold in Cincinnati. I'm like going to take off my clothes. Okay, so we have right now happening in the Juice Plus community a 90-day game plan. So you guys may have heard about this, and you may or may not know what I'm talking about when I say 90-day game plan. But it is just a way that we can really all, hit the ground running with 2018 and just put everything that we have into our businesses. So if you are not part of that group and you would like to be part of that group, please private message me or your upline leader, and we will go ahead and add you to that group. But basically what it is there are tasks. They call them WODs. It's like workout of the day, but I don't know what it stands for. I'm sorry, I'm off on that lingo. But basically what it is it's a task that you should be doing every day. Okay, so they are assigning that to us every week. We have some amazing leaders within that work of the day. Thank you. Okay, I knew it was something with a W. I just didn't get, okay. Work of the day. So it's like a, just a little JPEG image, and it'll kind of lay out what we're supposed to be doing. And if you guys are friends with Molly Lever, you know that she's been doing awesome at that. She's just been kicking butt at doing her work of the day so well. And so it's just like one day it was to post a picture of the capsules opened up in your hand or on a plate or somewhere, and then hashtag plant strong. You can put something else in your post as well, but they wanted us to hashtag plant strong. So that was one of them. Another one was to create a curiosity post, and one of them was to reach out and call 3 people to have a conversation. So, things like that, these are all going to be things that are actually going to increase the number of contacts that you have, putting information out there. It's like, we talk about being fishermen, right? And not hunters. So it's putting that bait out in the water to see who is interested on social media, and, then following up with those people. So then the other thing about the 90-day game plan is that we have some incredible leaders that are going to be gifting us with training within that group, okay? So this week, Catherine Lee, it's my understanding it's going to be Catherine Lee, which if you guys don't know who she is, you are going to want to know who she is. She's phenomenal. And she's a 100+ Club National Marketing Director. She's on the Campbell team. She's founded the Pure Hope Foundation, which is a foundation that rescues women and girls who have been sold into sexual slavery, which is it's just an incredible thing that she's been doing. And so anyway, she's a rock star in her business, and she's going to be gifting us with training this week. And we're not on her team, you guys. So the opportunity to get trained from Catherine Lee is huge. Last week, it was Jeff Olson who was giving us some training, and we're just going to have a rotating leader every week who's going to gift us with nuggets that we can really learn from. And then the other thing with the 90-day game plan is that they're going to have Freedom Revolution calls every night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every night of the week. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific time and 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be different speakers every night. So you're going to get something a little bit different, but they're all going to follow the same format. They're all going to be product and business and company. So really you can fit any prospect into that. And there's some great invitation verbiage on the 90-day game plan page. So again, if you're not part of that and you want to be, private message your upline leader or me, and we can add you to that. But it's just been really wonderful. And I'd love to kind of really pour our resources that we have into really promoting for those events, because I think that they're just going to be phenomenal. So we've been doing the Freedom Revolution call once a month, but we're not going to be doing those between now and our April conference, because we've got those Sunday through Thursday available for us to plug into. So I still want to really encourage you, if you have a new rep who's starting up, that you do one, specifically with that new rep. But as far as like just having an event every week, we've got them Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We've got them to plug into. So, okay, if you have any questions, private message me. All right, and now I want to, do I have anything else? Oh, the other thing is I put a message out on Voxer today, you guys. If you haven't picked your word of the year, please put some thought into that. This is my 3rd year picking a word, and it is so powerful, you guys, just to have one thing to really focus on for the year. one intention out there of what you're going to do better or what you're going to really work on to improve, that's going to help you to become the person that you ultimately want to be. So a lot of you have already told me your words of the year, but if you haven't, think about it, let me know. And when you send it to me, I'm going to send you a gift in the mail. Okay. So I can't wait to hear what all of you guys are thinking. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started with our Pajama Regional takeaways. Shannon, you want to go ahead and start? Do you mind? You have to unmute yourself. Or I can unmute you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm kind of with Carmen. I hate to say it, but you guys like really missed out. So hopefully we can put some stuff together for you tonight so that you get the good info that we got. Because I had like 9 pages of notes from just Saturday. So my favorite thing, well, actually I voxed Carmen last night and I was totally conflicted and I was coming up with like over 3 to 5. But so my favorite thing was really something called time blocking. And it was really cool because I'm a really organized person. I use my planner like crazy. I write down to-do lists. I've got a to-do grocery list. I've got a to-do around the house list, a to-do job list. I'm a list person. So they showed us a really cool way to actually look at a 24-hour period. And my favorite thing was right before she showed us what I'm about to show you, she said, you know, people will say, and it says, I just don't have time. And instead what you need to say is, that's just not my priority. Because basically we make time for our priorities. We make time for our kids. We make time for the things we want to do. We make time for the things that are important to us. And everybody who's on this call tonight knows that they want to grow their business. And it is a priority. I mean, it's a livelihood that we're looking for the rest of our lives. So, you know, you make time for your priorities. So what she did was she showed us how to sit down for literally every 30 minute to 1 hour of the day and block it out. So I'm planning on doing this on Sunday nights, just sitting down with my schedule for the week because it changes all the time. So Carmen posted a little PDF file that you can print out, or you can just Google, you know, hourly planner to find one that suits your personality. So I'm not done yet, but I don't know how well you guys can see this, but what I did was I highlighted. So I went through and highlighted out all of the times I know I'm not available for sure. You know, I'm teaching at this time, so I know I'm not available. I'm in the car line at this time. Then I can use stolen moments. I'll still have these stolen moments, but blocks of time. So I literally put homework with the kids, cooking dinner, eating dinner, joining the 90-day game challenge calls, you know, the pod calls, the SC calls, all that stuff. And I just went ahead and blocked. I even blocked when I was going to be sleeping. And then I have all this white space. So clearly I do have time. It's just what I do with the time that I have and making the very most of it. So some of the examples that she gave were, and this will change for each of us, but, you know, make time for planning. So you have to block out the planning time. Block out when you are working your DMO. Block out, you know, when, let's see, texting customers, calling customers, message blitzing, and just put it down, and you will find that you actually have a lot more time than you have. She even suggested the gym, you know, time for the gym, because that plays into your business. You know, being healthy, meal planning, meal prepping, just any single thing you know that you do, go ahead and map it out, and then find those empty blocks and do something for your business. Now, I even, like, sometimes I'll be at a red light or stuck in traffic, and I'm not saying you should do this in your car, but I'll, you know, box somebody really quick. My husband hates when I do that, but not while I'm driving, but while my car is parked. You should also, and I think this is important, put, she said, stuff happens. Like, put some blocks down that you know, don't plan anything there, because you may have to run to the dry cleaner or do something that comes up. And the other thing was, you know, trade in TV, PVC. I love that. I will sit down and, you know, play a game on my phone or watch some TV when I could be message blitzing at the same time. And then I will close before Jen Radford takes over. Schedule the hard things first. So get out of the way the things you don't want to do. Like if you really don't want to call that customer, call the customer first. Put that in your schedule first, get it done, and then the rest of the day seems easy. But anything you want to accomplish in your business, fill this white space in. And then there's no excuse, because we all do have a couple hours here and there that we don't think we have. And I thought that was so valuable. So Jen, if you want to go ahead and pick up where I left off.
Okay, yes, sure. Time blocking, that was my big takeaway too. And my word for the year is focus. So I felt like this went right along with that, because the time blocking is going to help me focus. Because when I look at, if I go to bed at 10, wake up at 6, I have 16 hours to work with. That's a lot of time. So I was thinking, I need to be using the time wisely. And it kind of got me just thinking about being intentional with the time that I'm using. And that was one thing she talked about, is when you time block and what you put on it is what you're doing helping you work towards your goal, which someone may talk about goals, but think about what your goals are. And for me, things that will help my family and friends, my spiritual life, and my Juice Plus business. So sometimes I'm going to need to evaluate, is what I'm doing right now helping me with that goal, helping me work towards that goal? So I love the time blocking. So my plan is to go through and kind of like what Shannon said, and mine's even down to like, I think 15-minute increments. Get up, get dressed, make my bed, and then do the next thing. I mean, I'm literally going to do that. And one thing she said to do is commit to this routine for a while. It's going to be rigid. It may be uncomfortable, but do it and just make it part of your life, even if it's uncomfortable at first, because different personalities. For me, since when she talked about time blocking, and she said complete activities and things that you finish or that you start, and that's an issue with me. I start something and then I don't finish it. Like I start to unload the dishwasher and then I had to whatever, and then I had here. And so my focus with this is to finish some of the activities that I complete. And I'm going to find that I'm going to have so much time. Like when I was doing the calendar with the 15-minute increments, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to put in some of this time. I have so much time. So I think it's going to help me be intentional with the business too. And one thing she talked about was going like that Facebook, this going down the scroll hole, which means as you're scrolling and then you fall down a hole into something else and you're off on a tangent. That happens to me all the time. And she said to pick 3 15-minute blocks a day to do the Facebook time. And during that time, if you're organized, you'll have your group of Facebook friends that you've gonna pop up first. But the things, you will not waste so much time on Facebook, and it'll be more intentional. You'll be able to spend that time wisely, instead of sometimes I'm 30 minutes later, I've just scrolled through and then I've gone off on this tangent of checking out what this I don't know, like random thing. It didn't have anything to do with Juice Plus or healthy living. And then I'm back on. So I think this is going to really help me too, especially with my word being focus. And it's funny, I was telling Aubrey about, okay, mommy's going to time block. And I think it's good for the kids to see this too, to know, okay, they know they'll have a block of time and it'll be just them. So during this time, mom's going to be working on some Juice Plus stuff, or mom's going to be prepping dinner. But Aubrey was funny because she's like, okay, put me down for playing with Barbies tomorrow during our time block. So I thought it was so sweet that, and that's going to be an intentional time to just focus on Aubrey or whoever I'm playing with, whichever child. And I'm not going to pick up the phone and just text it. She even said maybe turn your phone off as far as the volume, and so you're not getting alerts until it's that time for you to check it. So I think that will be good for me too. So I'm kind of really excited to implement the time blocking.
I love that. And yeah, how many of us are guilty of falling down the scroll hole? You know, I mean, when you think about it, you know, how much time that we spend, you know, scrolling through social media, and, you know, we're looking for people who we can reach out to, who we can help, you know, we're looking for people who need us, you know, but at the same time, we are spending a lot more time than what we really have. And, you know, what I love is so many of the speakers really spoke to the fact that, you know, our time is the most precious commodity that we have. And once it's spent, we cannot get it back. And so if you do have a goal, you know, if you are working towards something very seriously and you have limited time, you want to make sure that you're really spending your time as wisely as possible. And I liked how, I think it was Linda Evenden said that she only checks Facebook 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. And she, I think she said, or maybe I've heard someone else say, that they set a timer for it so that you're only spending 10 or 15 minutes there instead of an hour. Because we all know that we can get on Facebook for 5 minutes and later, you know, we look at the clock and it's been an hour. And so that's not a good use of our time. Okay, I want to let Linda share because she had some really great takeaways from Friday night when Lauren Slocum shared. Linda, you want me to unmute you? Okay, you're unmuted. Are you there, Linda? Okay, let's come back to Linda. And Johanna, did you want to share about the 10 days of follow-up? I know that was a big takeaway for you.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. I actually wrote all the steps down whenever they did the 10-day follow-up, and I haven't had a chance to go back through my notes and make it pretty, but follow-up is huge with me. I suck at it. I'm horrible. I'll be the first one to admit that. So this is going to help me get better at it because that's just what I need. So anyway, the 10 days of follow-up, day 1 is an email with an attachment, like just send them flyers, videos, anything that you find off of the mission-driven model website that we have. And then day 2 is call them and leave a voice message. They like to hear our voices, which is hard for me as well. And then the 3rd day, you want to send a text message. The 4th day, sit tight. You know, just give it a couple of days in there somewhere where they're not bugging them per se. Big with me. Number 5 or day 5, leave another voice message. Look, Carmen put the list up there. Thanks, Carmen. So anyway, day 5, leave a voice message. And she did say that usually there's contact made if we're diligent in our first 5 days, then usually there's some kind of contact made by day 5. If not, day 6 and day 7, you're sitting tight again. Day 8, you make another phone call, leave a voice message, remind them why you're contacting them. And with all of these, you're just going to leave a brief message reminding them why they were interested in the first place. So day 8, that's the phone call. Day 9, you're sitting tight again. Day 10, you're emailing a message, text message, Facebook message, just some way to reach out and just leave another message. And then on that photo that Carmen put up there, you can see where after 10 days, if there's no response, then you just kind of follow up with recipes, other Facebook events. You guys know the drill. It says it there on the photo. I can't see it actually. I have to zoom in. There we go. Where'd it go?
Oh, I'm sorry. I stopped sharing it. I'm going to post it on their team.
That's okay.
So you guys have it.
Yeah, everybody can see it. So thanks. Go ahead, Carmen.
And share a little bit about why that was such a takeaway for you.
Well, because I need that step-by-step process in my life. I'm a worker bee per se. I do better if I have it all laid out. Somebody's telling me exactly what to do, and that way I don't overthink it and try to go out and reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? So I like the worker bee status, list by list, you know, item by item. So I think it's going to work real well for me. I think it's going to help me out a lot in my follow-ups.
Awesome. And, you know, one of the things that Stacy stressed when she was sharing that is that, you know, when you're having a conversation with somebody and you're really listening for, you know, you're asking good questions and you're learning a lot about them and you're understanding why they need better nutrition in their for their family, then you know you're able to really, when you're following up with them, it's coming from a place of you really caring about them and you really wanting to, you know, help them to solve this need that they have, and so you're always
Yeah, Carmen, I did. I used that, as a matter of fact, with the lady that I met at the last vendor fair that I did. She filled out my paper and she told me a bit about her son. So my very first contact and my follow-up with her, I included that, hey, how's your boy doing? You know what I mean? So that did, I am working on that too, is asking questions. I like the master asker.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Carmen.
Yes, thank you, Johanna. Mo, do you want to share your takeaway? Oh, I think, okay, sorry.
There you go.
You muted yourself and I muted you. Okay, you're good now, I think. No, I can't hear you. We can't hear you still.
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. I had to unplug I have a webcam. I'm old school. So I have to tell you guys, the follow-up that Johanna just talked about, Jen did that for 4 years with me. 4 years. And finally I came on. I was getting emails from her about recipes and about whatever, all kinds of stuff. And it was a email for conference that got me to Orlando, that got me going, I could be a nurse again. So yeah, keep doing that follow-up. So what spoke to me was Bree and Peggy, Bree Bergford and Peggy Rivera, and they spoke about sharing together. And one of the quotes that they shared was, decide to be human together. And this really spoke to me because I have, especially lately after meeting people through the VAX information, I have been pre-qualifying people. And there are a lot of moms with autistic kiddos out there who are on food stamps and Medicaid and don't have a very big income. And Bree Bergford shared that she was 26, had just gotten married, inherited 4 children who did not eat fruits and vegetables, and they were on food stamps and Medicaid. And somebody shared with her and her husband about the product, and she got started with the business just to be able to afford the product better. And they had their experience with the product where all the kids started, and her husband started having these positive benefits. And she went to conference, and she said she went to conference and knew she wanted to courageously lead people into freedom. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I am holding back from somebody who might be like a Bree Bergford or might not be and just want to earn an extra $500 a month to be able to treat their kids to other things or help their family be able to better afford things. So I decided at that point, all these pictures of people started popping into my head that I had been pre-qualifying. And actually, I had a person that I had pre-qualified. Somebody else had reached out to her from another company, a juice company. And she is now a distributor with that juice company, and her autistic son is having experience with that juice company. And I'm sitting here going, holy crap, that could have been me with Juice Plus. So I've got to stop pre-qualifying people. She had an Eric Worre quote that said, it's one thing to create freedom for you and your family. It's another thing to help someone else do that. And I'm a touchy-feely kind of person. You know me. I love that heartfelt stuff. I mean, that sucks me right in. With me, it's not as much about the money. Let's face it, we've been homeless. It's more about the heart. And one of the things they said that stood out to me was our hearts are drawn to purpose. And for those people who are not more about the money and more about the heart, that purpose is what gets me up every day and gets me looking at Facebook and gets me sharing with people and stepping out of my comfort zone and talking to people. So they said that there are a lot of people out there who want to stay, who need to stay plugged in. And if they fall off the wayside, it might be because they don't feel like they're part of everything, or they don't feel like they're being cared for, or they don't feel like they have help. So it's so important to stay in touch with your team members and your customers and do that care with everybody, because if you're not hearing from them, that could be what's going on. They said be very teachable. These very 3 things stood out to me. Be very teachable, be very consistent, and be very independent. And I haven't been any of those 3. So those are big 3 focuses for me this year. There was a story they shared about a stay-at-home mom who somebody had reached out to, can't remember who, and the husband contacted them and said, "Thank you so much for sharing with my wife, because since she's been involved in Juice Plus, I see a positive difference in her. You have given purpose to her life. She has a purpose." Now I'm getting goosebumps. And that just really stood out to me. You never know who you're going to talk to and what difference you're going to make in their life. It might not be financial. It might not be, the product. It might be the socialization and those stay-at-home moms who have degrees and are with their kids every day. And I know some of you know what I'm talking about. And that's the purpose that they're looking for. It's something they can do from home where they can reach out to people and they can have a positive impact on other people's lives. And let's face it, a lot of people are looking for positive impact. So there was this one exercise that they had us do, and I'm almost done. They said, close your eyes. Well, they didn't say close your eyes. I'm saying close your eyes. Close your eyes. Picture a photocopy machine and put a piece of paper on the photocopy machine and press copy. That piece of paper that comes out of that photocopy machine, what do you want it to say about you? Would you follow you with what's coming out of that copy machine? Put that piece of paper back on that copy machine, close that lid, and press copy. What do you want coming out of that copy machine that you would follow? What words stand out at you? Write those words down and have them in an important place. And she shared some, so I'm going to share a couple of mine. I have fun, humbled, lively, passionate, transparent, hope-filled, encouraging, teachable, and I like this last one, go-getter. So think about that piece of copy paper. What do you want to be? Who would you want to follow? Be that person. Go out there and just love on people. So thanks for letting me share.
Can you hear me? Okay, there we go. Oh, that was awesome. Yes, I love Bree and Peggy. They're so amazing. Okay, we're almost out of time, or we actually are over time, but I do want you guys to be able to hear what Linda has to say, and she's having some technical difficulties. So I'm unmuting both of the Lindas because I don't know which one your phone is, Linda. So start talking.
Okay.
Oh, I can hear
All
you.
right. All right. I my computer's not letting my voice work. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to kind of talk about a lady by the name of Laura Slocum. Hope I got that right. She spoke on Saturday night, and there were kind of just some basic thing. It kind of goes back to looking at who you are, and it kind of resonated with me. And one of the main big things she said at the beginning was it's all about belief, and it asked, what are your pillars? Like, what do you believe about yourself? And she asked us to write down like I am type statements. So you're kind of looking at yourself, because in order to do this business, that's what you got to stand for. And she made a comment like, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So that resonated with me. And she went through kind of three things, like know who you are, which goes back to those I am statements. And some of mine, I'll just give you like 2 or 3, was that I'm honest, that I'm loyal, and I'm hardworking. So now what I do is I just need to put those to use. And number 2 was hustle. And she talked about not just hustling for Juice Plus, but hustling for all the different areas of your life. So her hustle time was like from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then the other part of the day, kind of like what Shannon and Jen said, is you kind of block out the other areas of your life, but you need to make that concentrated Juice Plus time in your life. And then the third was empathy, like understanding people and kind of meeting them where they are and trying to, give them some solutions. And then the other thing she talked a lot about was road mapping. And again, going back to where are you at in your life right now? Number 2, where do you want to go? What are some things that you want to accomplish? And then the third step was, what do I need to close that gap between, where I am today in my life and where I want to go? And that kind of hit a chord with me, because I always feel like I'm a planner, but yet I don't write things down, and I don't, I don't always, have everything written out the way, of what I want to accomplish. I think in my head what I do, but I don't write it down. And I think one of the things Carmen asked everybody was to share, like do these vision boards, or what Lauren called them were manifestation boards. So her formula was vision plus action equals manifestation. So, it goes back to, those, coming up with your word, and my word happens to be action. I'm all talk right now, and I need to kick it into action. And then, putting these boards together will help us give us something tangible, a visual of where we want to go. And it'll help us make our roadmap, again, with our time and where we want to schedule out our days. So the one thing I want to leave you guys with, I'm going to try to make this, the one thing she left us with was, if not you, then who? If not 2018, then when? And that the world needs us. The world needs us now, and Juice Plus. So that's what I got.
Thank you. Well, obviously, you guys know that you can't get anywhere close to everything that we got out of this amazing weekend from this little, 30-minute recap. But gosh, it was such a phenomenal weekend. And one of the things that one of my takeaways, I think it was from Kim McCall, was to make a hot hands list every Sunday and list out 10 people who you're going to reach out to this week. Okay. But not only put their names down, put down why do you want to reach out to them? What is their challenge? What is their struggle? And why is it that Juice Plus can help them, either, the product or the business? And then commit to contacting them this week. And when we commit to contacting them, make it as personal as possible. Make it a phone call. You can always start with a phone call. If they don't answer, you can always follow with a text message or a Facebook message if you have their phone number. But allowing them to hear your voice and let them know that you're thinking about them is huge, you guys. So anyway, so I want to challenge you to make that hot hands list as soon as we get off of Zoom right now, and write down your 10 people. And then, this week, make sure that you contact them. And, that's moving into action. That is what Linda just shared with us to do. It's not only thinking about having a conversation, but it's actually going out and taking that first step of actually making that contact happen. So, all right, you guys, have an amazing week. I am so excited for 2018 and everything that we are all going to accomplish together. I cannot wait to help you guys reach your goals. And as I hope you know, I am so invested in that. So if you need me, please do not hesitate to reach out. And I'm going to turn off the recording. I think we're good.